how to invest just £10,000 in property. Hey, what's up guys, Dan Trevidi here, hope you're all well. So I am bringing you another midweek video, and this one is an absolute hot topic at the minute. And it is all about how you invest just £10,000 into property. If you do have £10,000 in your bank account, how you should invest that into property and how you can do it in the most tax efficient way should you earn big income. But as ever, before we get started, I need you all to do me a huge favor. I need you to help my videos get up on the YouTube search engine. And the only way to do that is by smashing the like button. And while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe. So let's get straight into the video. Now, if you do have £10,000 set in your bank account, first of all, massive well done. That is a huge achievement. I remember back in my early 20s, if I had £10,000 in my bank account, I would have felt like a millionaire. It seemed like a huge amount of money. It also seemed too much of a stretch to get there. Now, I was quite fortunate because back in those days, you could get 100, 105, 110% mortgages. So you didn't need that level of cash in your bank account. But as we all know, today is a completely different market. So you need cash. Cash is king. And look, if you're sitting there watching this video at home, you're thinking, I barely have 10 quid in my bank account, let alone £10,000. I know how you feel. It seems like it is such a stretch away. But look, you need to watch some of my earlier videos so you can get some ideas about how you can increase your bank balance so you're able to step into the property world and get on the property ladder. If you're one of the guys who are already there and you've got 10 grand, let's talk about what you should be looking to do. Now, you'll watch countless videos and you'll read countless posts on social media about how you should invest that money in yourself, which isn't incorrect. You should definitely be thinking about yourself when you invest that money. But what you should not do is start spending it on expensive training and mentorships. £10,000, it's probably taken you a hell of a lot of hard work to get that. And there will be people out there who will relieve you of that money in no time at all. Instead, watch free videos, read as many books as you can, and try and grab little nuggets from as much free content as you can physically get in your time. You should absolutely just hang on to that money like it is gold dust, like it is your last penny in your pocket. Don't part with any cash until you know that it is going into a deal that is going to pay you back. That money is the cash that you need to use for when you need cash. Don't use the cash in your bank account for things that you can get away with borrowing money to buy or putting on credit cards if cash is really, really tight. Getting straight into it, you should be looking to buy your first property using a residential mortgage for you to live in. And that £10,000 can go towards the deposit, if not the whole deposit. Now, I'm not sure if you can get 95% mortgages at the moment. And I'm sure if you speak to a mortgage broker, within about 5 minutes, they'll be able to tell you. And don't listen to the first mortgage broker that you speak to, because not all of them have access to the whole market. Speak to 2 or 3, or even put some posts on Facebook. You'll soon get a mortgage broker message you if they can access a 95% loan to value mortgage. Now, what does that mean? That means whatever the purchase price is of your property, you will be able to borrow up to a certain amount of that value. So if it was a £100,000 property and you had a 95% mortgage, then that means you'll be borrowing £95,000. So your £10,000, 5 of that straight away is towards the deposit. Now, if you can get a property for £100,000 and a mortgage at 95% loan to value, and you're only using 5,000 of your 10,000, you're doing pretty well. And that's going to be easier for some people in different locations to others. And I totally get that. I totally recognize that. But you're gonna have to play with the cards that have been dealt with you. And if you live in an area where you can't pick up a property for less than 250,000, you're gonna have to look further afield. And if you do live in an area where property prices are cheap, make sure they're not cheap for a certain reason, and you are definitely buying a property which now meets the things that I'm gonna tell you. They are buying properties where you can add value to. It's no good just buying a property because you can get it for 100,000 and you've got enough deposit to put in 5 or 10,000. You won't be putting yourself into a position where you can materialize any return on that investment if you do not buy a property either below market value or a property you can add value to. It has to tick at least one of those points. And if it doesn't tick one, it should tick both. And if you can buy cheap and add value, you're on to a winner. The second point is you are gonna live in that property for the next few months, if not years. So make sure it's somewhere you want to live. It's somewhere where you can go home to every single evening and be happy to travel to work and do the things that you want to do. Because if you can't do it, that property isn't going to be right for you and you are going to have to live there. You're getting a residential mortgage, but you don't have to live there forever. You can refinance that onto a buy-to-let. So the third point is making sure you understand what the rental market is doing in that particular location and the types of markets that you can tap into. And then last but not least, make sure that your cash in your bank is being used for what you have to use cash for. For example, the deposit for the mortgage lender. They aren't gonna let you borrow that money from a lender or even put that on a credit card. You're gonna need that cash in your bank to pay the deposit. But things like furniture or building materials, you can put on credit cards, and you can go out there at the moment and get 0% credit cards for up to 18 months on your purchases. Now, you have to be really careful because if you overspend on credit cards that you can't later repay and the 0% period ends, you're gonna be paying a huge interest rate. So you need to manage this spending to make sure you don't put yourself into a really difficult position in the future. But with all that said and done, you can use these credit cards to start spending money on things that you don't have to use cash for. That means your 10,000 goes towards the purchase, but the other costs associated with adding the value can be borrowed relatively easy after an online application. And you can use the value that you've created in the property by refinancing or selling to pay the debt off and make your profit. So make sure that you understand straight away what you have to spend your cash on, but what you can spend using borrowed money or credit cards. And then that way you can make your £10,000 go even further, which is the best way to spend that money, which is buying a property in your own name. Because when you do eventually sell it, the money that you earn from selling your prime residence is 100% tax free. So that is my way of using £10,000 to invest in property. And it is invested in yourself because you're going to be living there and it's your income tax-free when that property is sold. Hope you found the content rich. Stay safe and I'll catch you all on the next video.